I'm going to start this video with just a little bit of train talk. But if you're not interested in trains or railways, don't worry. This video is not fundamentally about railways. So just bear with me for 30 seconds or so. So Tottori, which is on the Japan sea coast, is linked with cities on the inland sea coast by two express train services. There's the Super Inaba, which links Tottori and Okayama. And then there's the Super Hakuto, which links Tottori with Kobe, Osaka, and sometimes Kyoto. Now, in Japan, express trains have names, and those names are very often linked to the places that those services go to. And the Super Inaba and the Super Hakuto are no exception. Both of these names refer to Tottori. Anyway, that's about it for the railway part of the video, but I do need to get on a train. So anyway, come with me and I will explain a little bit more. So I need to get on this train. Okay, so this is Suetsune Station, and this is basically the end of the train bit of this video. So from here, I need to walk. But before I set off, let me just explain what the train names mean. And I promise this is really the last train bit of the video. So, in the case of the Super Inaba, the name Inaba comes from the old name for the eastern part of what is now Tottori Prefecture. So that's clear enough. And in terms of the Super Hakuto, the name literally means white rabbit. Now, you might be asking, what relevance does a white rabbit have? Well, good question. And let's go and find out. It's about a 2-kilometer walk from the station to where I'm going, along a fairly busy road. But, nevertheless, the scenery is quite wonderful. Okay, so this is White Rabbit Beach, and in Japanese, Hakuto Beach, Hakuto Kaigan. It's a rather beautiful beach, and the sea is just so beautiful. The color is incredible. Anyway, let me explain about that white rabbit. So the oldest written text in Japan is called the Kojiki, and it dates from 712 AD. And in that text, there is a myth, the myth of the white rabbit of Inaba, or in Japanese, Inaba no Hakuto. Do you notice anything there? Yep, absolutely correct. The two train names, Inaba and Hakuto, come together in the name of the myth. But what exactly is that myth, you might ask? Well, another good question. Let me just leave the beach for a while and then I will explain. Alright, let's talk about that myth. So, according to the story in the Kojiki, there was a clever but slightly reckless rabbit which lived on an island off the coast of Inaba province. In fact, it's said to be the island just there. And the rabbit wanted to cross the sea to the mainland. So what did it do? Well, it tricked a group of crocodile-like sea creatures. Now, don't forget this is a myth. We're not going for realism here, but you can think of them as sharks if you want. Anyway, it tricked this group of crocodile shark things to line up from the island all the way to the shore, saying that he wanted to see how many of them there were. And as they lined up, the rabbit hopped across their backs, using them as a bridge to get to the mainland. Now, you don't have to be a genius to work out that the shark crocodile creature things were furious. And what did they do? Well, they attacked the rabbit. They stripped off all of its fur, leaving it in terrible pain. Fair enough, I suppose. You mess with shark crocodiles, that's what you get. Soon after this, a group of deities passed by. They were brothers of Okuninushi no Mikoto, who is one of the most important deities in Japanese mythology. Now, these brothers disliked the rabbit for some reason, and they told it to bathe in salt water and dry in the wind, and that would cure it. The rabbit obeyed, and what happened? Well, you can imagine, the pain got far, far worse. But then, after that, Okuninushi no Mikoto himself arrived on the scene, and he advised the suffering rabbit to first of all wash in fresh water and then cover its body with pollen from cattails and then get some rest. The rabbit followed this advice and healed completely. So, all's well that ends well, you might say. But the story hasn't quite finished there. The rabbit was extremely grateful for Okuninushi no Mikoto's advice and prophesied that Okuninushi no Mikoto himself, in other words, not his brothers, would win the hand of the princess Yagami Hime. And guess what? Yes, that prophecy came true. And now, the white rabbit in the story is the principal deity in this shrine, Hakuto Jinja. And what's more, because of this story, Hakuto Shrine is known not only as the birthplace of Japanese medicine, but also as the setting of Japan's oldest love story. Even today, it's considered a place of connection, of relationships. And in fact, back in 2010, the shrine was designated as a sacred place for lovers. So there you are. There really was a happy ending. So, that was Hakuto Jinja, or Hakuto Shrine. What did you think of it? I think it's fair to say that it's nothing so special in terms of architecture, although it's pleasant enough. I think where it is important, where it is special, is in the fact that it is a tangible link to those myths of centuries ago, to the Kojiki. I mean, think about it. The rabbit that tricked those sharkodiles, because that's what we'll call them, those shark-crocodile hybrid creature things, the rabbit that tricked those creatures into letting him cross to the shore centuries ago is now enshrined in the shrine as the principal deity. So there is really a tangible link between the history and the present. And just to go back to railways to finish, I think it's also rather nice how the shrine links together the two services that serve Tottori from the inland sea coast, the Super Inaba and the Super Hakuto. After all, the shrine is Hakuto Jinja in Inaba, so there's one link, and the principal deity is Inaba no Hakuto. There's another link. So there you are. It's a lovely place to visit, and as someone who likes railways, it has that railway link too. But I think even if you don't like railways, the history is interesting, the myth is fascinating, and it's rather a wonderful little story, really. Alright, that's about it for this video, I think. I hope you enjoyed this little visit to Hakuto Kaigan and Hakuto Jinja. If you're interested in railways, I hope you appreciated the link to the two services that serve Tottori from the inland sea coast. If you're not so interested in railways, I hope you appreciated the little story about the myth of the White Rabbit. Anyway, if you did enjoy this video, please do leave a comment, a like, and please do consider subscribing. I will see you very soon for another video, but for now, from Hakuto Kaigan and Hakuto Jinja, goodbye. And just to prove that this video wasn't about railways, look, I'm catching the bus back to Tottori. Anyway, see you in the next one. Bye for now.